Good morning, grade 9s, or good afternoon, depending on when you are watching this. So the other day, you guys learned how to add polynomials. So today we are going to move on to subtracting polynomials. So first, let's do a little recap. Some key points that we need to remember for adding polynomials is we are going to be looking at combining like terms. So if we were to do this example, now feel free, if you want to stop, try this one for yourself, pause your video now, and then you can check your answer and see how you did. So I'm going to combine like terms. We have 4x squared. My other term that looks like this guy is 3x squared. So 4 plus 3 is 7. Then my next guy that looks similar or group-like terms, I see 6x. And over in this expression, I have negative 5x. Reminder, you need to keep the sign that's in front of your coefficient. So 6 minus 5, that is plus 1x. Okay. And then our last couple terms we're looking at, we have plus 4, which is our constant in this expression, and we have plus 2, which is our constant in this expression. So 4 plus 2 is positive 6. Now the only other thing I will mention is I could also actually write this without the 1 in front. So I could actually just get rid of this guy because our 1 coefficient is always assumed. Okay, so we could write instead 7x squared plus x plus 6. So that is our recap on adding. Remember, if you have any questions, please ask your teachers as soon as possible. This is a key concept you need for grade 10 math. So today we're going to look at subtracting polynomials. Now, a good skill to have a nice foundation in before we start this is integers. Okay? So if you remember how to subtract integers, we're going to use the same concept for subtracting polynomials. So before we start that, if I was to ask you, what is the opposite of plus 4? I think you should be able to tell me that the opposite is negative 4. What if I was to ask you, what is the opposite of negative 2x squared? Think. The opposite is plus 2x squared. Okay. I could keep going. I'm hoping we get the idea of what an opposite is. If I was to do, let's say, well, let's try one more. Let's go with 7x cubed. The opposite would be negative 7x cubed. So, continuing with that thought, if you remember your integers, if I was to ask you to subtract the following, most of you would remember a little method called keep, change, change. So that is when we add the opposite. So that's why I just reviewed that opposite concept with you. So I would, in order to add this integer, I would keep my first one, and I'm going to change this to a positive, and then I'm going to change my negative 4 to the opposite, which is a positive 4. Now I can actually just add, which is what we all like to do. Nobody really likes subtracting all that much. So plus 3 plus 4, and our answer is positive 7. Okay, so that is our little we're going to use this concept and understanding for how to subtract polynomials, because this is just integers and we can handle this. So that little, if you want to write this down in your notes, we're going to use the method. We are going to add the opposite. Oh, too many P's. Or for those of you like this approach, keep, oh boy, let's try this again. All right, so add the opposite. This will be a little prettier. Ooh, still tried to put 3 P's in there. Or keep, come on, change, change. There's an E on the end of that. All right. So that would be something to possibly write down for our method we're going to use. So if you want to pause, make sure that's wrote down in your notes, go for it, and I'm going to continue on. All right, so to really get that opposite in there, we're going to look at this example. The opposite of 3x is negative 3x. The opposite of negative 2 is positive 2. So now we're dealing with a full expression here, not just one term. So we're just going to break it apart and do opposite of each. So opposite of 4x is negative 4x. The opposite of negative 1 is positive 1. So that's the opposite expression. This one, opposite of a squared, is negative a squared. Opposite of negative 3a, positive 3a. And positive 2, the opposite is negative 2. Okay. Okay, so if you want to take a minute, I would love for you to pause and write this show you know in your notes and give this a try on your own. So pause, try it, and I'm going to show you my answers. So A, the opposite is negative x. B, the opposite is negative 5 plus 3x. And C, the opposite is negative 7x squared minus 5x plus 1. Okay, so with that foundation, let's actually attempt a full subtracting question. All right, so we're going to add the opposite or keep, change, change. So I'm going to try this out. So 2x plus 3, and I'm going to subtract, subtract 2x plus 3 from 3x minus 4. So let's recap. So from 3x minus 4. So we are going to 3x minus 4, and we are going to subtract 2x plus 3 from that. Okay, now really important with subtracting that we put our brackets around just first so we can keep our signs and make sure we're actually adding the opposite here. So the first one I'm going to keep the same, 3x minus 4, and now I'm going to add the opposite of negative 2x, or positive 2x is, this is a negative 2x, and the opposite of positive 3 is minus 3. So, hopefully I don't run out of room here. I'm going to combine like terms now because I'm just adding. So 3x minus 2x is 1x. And then negative 4 minus 3. So negative 4 minus 3, so this should be negative 7. Little reminder, if you want to, you can do that minus 4, minus 3 in your calculator if you're just wanting that double check. Totally okay. So I am going to do one more before I let you try one of them on your own. If you're already wanting to try one on your own and you're feeling confident, go ahead. Like you said, pause, try this in your notes. I would like you for sure put an example or two, aka these guys, in your notes so you have something to refer back to. Okay, so 2x minus 3 subtract negative x plus 2. So 2x minus 3, I'm just going to rewrite the question so I have it here, minus x plus 2. Okay, so I'm going to add the opposite. So keep, add, the opposite of negative x is plus x. The opposite of positive 2 is negative 2. Now I get to just group my like terms because now I'm just adding. So I'm going to say 2x plus x gives me 3x, and negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. We'll do b. Try this one if you're feeling confident, like I said. Pause it, check it. 5x squared minus x plus 4 subtract 2x squared minus 3x minus 1. Hopefully I don't run out of room here. Okay, keep. So keep the full expression. And I'm going to change this to adding now. And opposite of positive 2 is negative 2. So I'm just going to get rid of this plus. Opposite of negative 3 is plus 3. And the opposite of negative 1 is plus 1. Now I'm going to group like terms. So always do my one with the biggest degree first. So 5x squared minus 2. So 5 minus 2, 3x squared. Do my x's next. Oh, I messed up here. Sorry, guys. This one's not supposed to have a squared there. All right, so negative x plus 3x. So negative 1 plus 3. So this should be positive 2x. And then my constant, so plus 4 and plus 1 is plus 5. So little key terms, just that you always use the opposite. So opposite is so negative 3, the opposite's positive 3. This is just a little workout example for you if you want reference to it. Little reminder, if you do end up with an example where you have 3x minus 3x, that's actually equal to 0x, and you do not have to write 0x, so you don't actually have to include it in the answer. So that is all for subtracting polynomials. You will get an assignment now, and don't forget to ask your questions and make sure you are understanding as you go. Okay, have a good day, guys. Bye.